Good evening. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. It's our first product review. We're trying something new here. I've got my buddies Tyler and Ryan. How are you guys today?
Oh, not too bad.
Not too
Enjoyed
bad.
a 3-year-old's birthday party today.
There you
right.
go. You're full energy then, huh?
Yeah, full of tacos.
Sweet.
They had a taco bar.
Nice, dude. That's what I saw that picture from. And then Ryan, first time you've been on in a while, just posted your first video in 6 months, Southern Card Collector on YouTube.
Yeah.
So welcome back.
Thanks, man. It's been fun. Yeah, a lot of work. I was a lot of rust to knock off.
Right.
I remember how much I liked and disliked editing videos, and which you know why. It's like try to make a video with 4 kids in the house is not easy.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Yeah. So I was at a birthday party today too, though. So
well, so you guys are both full of energy from that, then, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Good. Well, today we are going to talk about 2022 Topps Pristine, and we three have a little Facebook message group called the Rainbow Chasers because while it can be a little bit daunting of a task to keep chasing rainbows of modern players or just modern sets because there's so many. Every year we three have about 1 or 2 that we decide we're gonna like go for our player. One that McGuire makes it in, Glasnow makes it in, Orion. You don't just collect Freeman like you used to. You kind of have a plethora of players that you chase, right? Is there anybody specific that you go for now, or just
like recently with the last select release, Eddie Matthews was in the set, so I started kind of chasing after his rainbow a little bit. It was a lot more affordable. Got some really nice steals on some of those cards. So, some other Braves, since Freddie's going over to LA, but Tim Anderson is a guy that I've been collecting some, and it's been fun collecting him. I like to kind of not necessarily collect one player anymore, or just pick one player and go with another player for a while, but I like kind of idea collections like the 1957 Braves or something like that. So with this set, that's kind of what I was doing with the Pristine. Instead of just one player, I thought, the Braves checklist is pretty massive. So
after you win a World Series, you should be getting a lot of cards, right?
Yeah, I was going to say the world champion Braves.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. And then Tyler, I don't know if you've yet recovered from all the 2021 Prism, that rainbow chase. That was a pretty big task for you to undertake, man.
Yeah, that was what 40. How many parallels are there? 40 some.
And it hasn't even dropped this year. And I'm because of what you went through, I'm not going to take the completionist approach. I'm going to take the 10 best ones and just forget about the rest.
Yeah, I'm hoping that if he's even in it, that he's in a A's uniform, and
So
I don't even have to think about it. Maybe go after like 1 or 2 cards, and that's it.
Still haven't found a draft. I've never seen a draft. I've been wanting that card since I saw it announced. Still haven't seen one. So it's cool though, because when you're rainbow chasing, like we're going to talk about with Pristine, the longevity of a set when it comes out, it's always nice to kind of stay excited for cards, and you never know when one's going to pop up, right, Tyler? You never see them. But in the case of this, I don't know about you guys, but for myself, looking at 2022 Pristine, it's the first time they've done this set since 2005 in baseball. It's been a really, really long time. So we're looking at almost 20 years, 17, 18 years since it came out. Hockey's only done it once, and we've got some examples of that too. But before we get into that, what was it about this release that got you excited, Tyler? I'll start with you. What was it about 2022 Pristine that kind of set it apart from any other rainbow that you could possibly chase?
Well, I like Pacific for a reason, and it's because they can be a little bit gimmicky sometimes. And something about just getting an encased card from a pack, just I don't know, that got me really excited. And then once you told me that the encased cards had a pulsar refractor, that was just like that just set me over the edge. I needed every single one.
The cat, a little bit of this too, oh, here we go. How about yourself, Ryan? I mean, similar?
Yeah, I think when we first kind of looked at it, when we were kind of sending messages back and forth, the first thing I do is go to the checklist to see if Freeman's in it or whoever else is in it. I was a little bit excited because with Matt Olson coming over, I was curious kind of what he would have in the set, and I can't remember if it was pushed back. I think it was pushed back because some of the cards, like you've got some cards of guys who have been traded. Like I think Chris Bryant's still in Cubs uniforms and things like that. But just we came off collecting Select. We were looking for something different, and I'll be honest, I was looking for something with team logos that could kind of match and rival that a little bit. Not that mattered with Select, but it was just kind of maybe another one up with that a little bit. But the checklist itself was massive, but the quality of the checklist, I mean, the autographs in that checklist are pretty nice too. So the overall set itself just had a ton of appeal, and it looked like it was something that you could get into on the break side, or if you were going to buy a box of it, you may not get, most of the time you're never going to get your money back in a box anyway. But this looks like something you could open and feel like I got my money's worth out of the fun of opening this stuff. So
For sure. Yeah, we did join a couple breaks and actually hit a couple cards, which was cool. I mean, especially for me, I think, you don't watch a break hoping that Tyler Glasnow is going to get hit. I'm probably the only guy. But, I mean, we saw some Glasnow. We saw some Tim Anderson. We saw Was Matthews in this as well? Eddie Matthews?
No, he's not in the set.
Who was – I'm trying to think. There was a legend I want to say.
You got Aaron's in it. And then, of course, you got like Chipper, Maddox, Smoltz.
To have all the legends, like the legends of the 90s too, that's a big, way to pull us in. All of us guys, that's where we all got back into it. So I think, with the checklist, especially once it came out, saw the Glasnow, McGuire, and all the guys that you collect are in there. I mean, all right away we were excited. And when I saw the first break of it, I thought to myself, like, oh, wow, okay, this is something that's completely different. So we'll get into that too, because that's something that I think a lot of breakers were confused about. But just a brief history here, as we talked about, so from 2002 to 2005, baseball did this. Now, Tyler's got a couple examples of the baseball set, and we're going to just show how they're different because while Pristine, the packaging was similar this year, the design was different, and it has to be, right? Like, you're not just going to bring back the same design because then your creativity team isn't doing their job, or the design team. But I think there's some things to love about the new release, and there's some things to love more about the older stuff. So, Tyler, what are you going to show us from the baseball releases?
Yeah, so I have 2 from 2002, which I got. This is were these both encased? Was this one encased? I can't remember. If it was, I broke it out, obviously.
What is it? What's the serial number on it?
149.
Let's see.
There's that one, and then I know this one was encased for
that
sure.
That was encased, yes.
This is the die cut out of 70.
And can you hold that up again, Tyler? Notice real carefully, everyone, that it's completely deckled along the edge. Very similar to the 97 Finest, those famous refractors. The golden embossed.
Love that team logo behind it.
Yeah, definitely. That's 2002, Tyler, right?
2002.
Yeah,
I don't.
The 149 was an uncirculated rookie refractor. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, and it may not have been in this product, but wasn't the gold like a box topper? It was a one per box.
They were. There was a premium hit. It was the same in hockey the first year. They did it in 2003. The gold. This is a rookie card, but they also did base golds. But these were like case hits, and so, gosh darn it, go spend all this money on a brand new camera, and then it can't even grab the image. So go figure, right?
So
and
that's
then
03.
So that's to 33, and then
that's 03.
03,
Yeah.
03, 04, and this is the base, like the veteran. And one thing, when it finally grabs us, you guys got to see just like the detail on the top of these. Where is it? I'm trying to block out some light here. There we go.
Oh, there it is.
So
wow.
You see like the on the top, there's kind of like bumps up there, and then zoomed in player picture. Anyway, so hockey similarly had the golds were like one per box if you even got a gold, and they were encased as well, so uncirculated. So yeah, Actually, the only year they did hockey, the same year they started in baseball, obviously 2002, 2003, next year, by far the best. I think most people will agree that the first years for both sports were like the pinnacle of Topps Pristine, but they kept doing it, and they went all the way to 2005. And then Ryan, you said they did a legend set too?
Yeah. In 05, they did a legend set, and I kind of looked at the checklist last night, and it's, when you say legends, there's some legends in there, but there's some guys that were almost kind of like those hometown favorite kind of players too in that set. But I looked at just on eBay at some cards, and there's some pretty nice ones in there, some autographs, and then some gold refractors, a very similar kind of the way they packed it out. So those gold refractors like being one per box or like it's like a box topper or something. So
Tyler, you had an example from some other years too, right?
Yeah, I've got an 04. This one's not that or anything. Ryan, you said this was your favorite?
Well, so that's the one set that Javi Lopez is in, and he's an Oriole. So I kind of balked on it.
49.
Was that one? Did that come up recently? Was that one that you picked up recently?
No, I've had this for a while.
Okay, so that there were some that came up recently for sale, and I didn't even bid on the Lopez because he was in an Orioles uniform. But now that I've seen Pristine currently, I don't think I would. I might get one just to have one of his out of that set. But that 03 set, Matt, like they did. So there was baseball, there was basketball, there was football and hockey in 03. And
right,
because I was able to go back and find some breaks, and the basketball, that's the LeBron James rookie in that one. So
D-Wade as well. And then
D-Wade, yeah.
That was one of the best rookie classes ever. So
it was pretty incredible to catch some, like Steel City did some breaks a few years ago, just going back and kind of finding some of those breaks and catching those. And they did the little mini card that was in a little foil pack.
Yeah, hockey has that as well, and I still do not have a certain player that I'm looking for. So hopefully someday. But I do want to share this too. We talked about the packaging. This is 2002 baseball right here. Just check out the way that it's like labeled as being packed. So each of the 5 packs in this box contains. Let me zoom in a little bit for everybody. 3 packs in one, which is technically what they did this year in a way, right? Kind of. So pack 1 contains 1 uncirculated card in a secured case. And to compare with this year, that uncirculated card, the encased, we ended up calling them, was not in a pack. It was just there within the larger pack.
Yeah.
So there was actually just 2 packs total this year.
Yeah. What they did was they did a band. So you had, instead of another pack.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of difference with that. Yeah.
Right. They had that band. And I remember the first guy that I saw that band around the card said, "What is this?" There's actually a card shop in Bellingham that I've been to. And then the card shop owner, he's kind of goofy. And I can see that. So then pack 2 contains 1 specials relic card, which this year you would say that pack 2 was those 2 refractors. It was either base refractors or 1 regular and 1 colored. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where you would have either the 2 refractors, or if you got a relic auto.
Relic auto.
So that would be in there too.
So that's similar to this in a way, right? To the specials relic card.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've got pack 3 contains 4 veteran cards and 2 first-year player cards. This year it was 5 base veteran cards. Could you get base rookies in there too? I think you could.
Yes, and they're very rare. Like seeing a Wander come up was few and far between. I watched a lot of cases.
There was one in our break, right?
Yes.
The one that we joined. Yeah, there was one. And then
what does just a base Wander go for? Do you know?
That's a good question. I have not looked.
And obviously 2 first-year player cards this year. It was an insert, one of the insert sets, which Ryan has a picture of in here too, and we're going to show kind of the breakdown as well. But kind of interesting to see how they took this packaging here and came up with their own version of it for this year. Because think about it, nowadays, nothing is done this way. No sets are done like this ever. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to see them.
I think this might be the only page that has Jason Simontachi as a key rookie.
That's right. That's right. And Chris Snelling, gosh, don't even get me started, poor guy. So now we're going to pull up what Ryan sent me here. He sent me a breakdown from a guy on YouTube, right, Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's going to walk us through this, and we'll just kind of real quick look at the breakdown, and then we'll jump into what we think, our thoughts and some of the cards that we've got. So here's, so who did this, Ryan? And then let's go for it.
Great. Now I forgot his name. Bobby. I'll look it up because we got to give him credit for it. I want to say it's Bobby B Baseball, but it's not. So I apologize, man, because you did a great job with this.
It's a wonderful breakdown.
He did a great job with it. So like a case itself had 8 boxes in a case, and so there's 6 packs in that box, and then those are the nested packs. So you have 6 big packs. They're nested inside, 10 cards each pack, 6 base cards, 1 insert, 1 encased, and 2 refractors, like you were talking about a minute ago.
And then, of course, we found out, and I don't know, do either of you know how this number got out? How did the case print number make its way to the public?
The first time I heard anything about it was in the breaks that we were in.
Exactly, same.
And he had kind of started mentioning those numbers. So I'm not really sure where he got that information from. But if you look at the breakdown that he has here, he kind of does it kind of like from, if you look at like from the gold. So he used the gold refractor odds, right? So he said 300 players times 50 gold, that's 1,500 total golds. So if you take that number times 9, that's 54 base cards to 1 gold. So there's your pack, there's your odds, right?
Right.
So 1 in 54. So you do a little math there, you come up with 810,000, give or take, cards. And once you divide that by 300 players, around 2,700 cards per player is what you come up with.
2,700 base cards per player, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. It's so cool because we were talking before we went live. I think it would be really cool, at least for these higher end releases, if the companies release the case print run, because if you could take that and then take a print run of a card, you could in essence find a way to find out the entire print run of the whole thing, which is, when Mike Kramer gave me all the information, you could see the entire 1.3 million total cards made for the whole release. It was just nuts.
Well, something cool that he said was essentially, if you think about it, the gold, Topps gold parallels, right?
Right.
So there's serial number to the year, roughly, or whatever.
Yeah.
So Wander Franco's gold parallels, there's a similar number of how many of those are in this as a base card in this.
Yeah.
So that just kind of gives you an idea of value kind of in comparison. So keeping a print run of a product like this down is a way to really increase the value of a product.
Right. Well, and I think it's great too. I mean, this set has drawn enough interest and it's so different that somebody's gone to the lengths of making a video like this. Like, you're not going to see this for flagship. You're not going to see this for tribute. You're not going to see this for a museum. They do it every year. And that's, like we were talking about, me and my buddy Kelvin were talking about earlier, it's like the lust of this cannot go away. Like if it's done for the next 30 years straight, maybe we're just going to get this for the next 2-3 years, and then Fanatics will just get rid of it. So maybe that'll add some, a little bit of lust and special to it as well.
Yeah. So this is Scotty B cards. Let me make sure.
Perfect.
Hook him up there. So Scotty B cards. And what he did here was at the bottom in number 5, he said, so some packs have 7 base cards. You don't get an insert.
Oh, okay.
So he's saying if you kind of kick that in there, that's 3,150. So somewhere between 2,700 and 3,150 base cards per player.
Okay.
Kind of fluctuates.
Which is still,
super
that
low.
was a short print back in the 90s, right? You had inserts out of 3,000, and that was like a rare $50 card back in the day.
That was a super short print.
Yeah. SSSP.
The short prints were at 10,000.
And then, of course, here's a picture of Shane Baz and his Superfractor rookie. That's an incredible card.
And the math's pretty similar here. I mean, so of course, Superfractor's 1 of 1, so 300 total of those. And remember, these are not the black supers because those are the pristines. Right. So the ratios work out pretty similar there. You can kind of see the numbers, and at the bottom there, so that's 2,658 of each base.
Okay, so he's kind of going back and forth to give us an average between the 3 figures. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then he kind of does the same thing again, just adding if it was 7 base, that puts him back a little over 3,000 cards.
Okay, gotcha. Well, cool. Well, it was really nice for him to do this breakdown for everybody, just so you can. Like Tyler was saying, you guys were saying, the value is there because there's not as much, And I think if maybe Topps will never tell us how much museum and other sets are put out, because it might scare people away. Like there's that much, makes me appreciate, when Glasnow's got an auto and then he gets one out of, $2.99 is the first parallel. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how many did he sign?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. So
yeah. What was cool about that last slide is
he
just tried to figure out because how many cases did we see? Like we saw 2 superfractors out of 2 breaks, and that was
1 per case. Yeah.
So that was 8 cases.
Oh wow.
We watched.
Yeah.
So on average, it's like 1 superfractor per 9.
Do you guys remember who it was?
One was a Hendricks pitcher for the Cubs.
That wasn't the one that I remember seeing. I remember you weren't watching it when I saw case 2, but it wasn't Tim Anderson, was it?
No, I know it was Kyle Hendrickson one I saw.
Yeah.
And Reese Hoskins was one I saw, and also saw a Kirby Puckett one.
Huh. That was the one I saw. Kirby. Yeah. Yep. Awesome. So cool. So obviously, now that we watched some breaks before any of us got any cards in the mail.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah,
I still haven't.
And I just want to make it known that I sent a link to Tyler, and he said, I will watch this after I get done with work. So having a kid changes those things. So I'm not holding you accountable to that, man. All good. But even though he hasn't watched a break, he still got some cards. So it says a little bit about us kind of hyping each other up. But, talk about this for a minute, like expectations of this set. I think for me, because it was so different and I knew Glasnow was in it and I loved Pristine hockey that I have in front of me here, like I was already juiced up and I was like, I'm just going to get anything because of course it's going to be amazing. And, I think we all had this like really high ceiling of what these cards were going to be, especially in case, and seeing them on breaks. Everybody has to remember they've got the best lighting possible. Some of these big time breakers, they've got these big lights that are LED that come in and they shine the cards perfectly. And so I didn't see anything wrong with any of the cards or any that looked different. I still had like shiny new toy in my head. I know Ryan, you and I were probably in the same boat there.
Yeah.
So let's kind of talk about what you guys have noticed on the market, because Tyler, he's at the highest end of the three of us as far as prices go. Ryan, you're kind of with Freeman and your Braves, they're kind of in the middle. And then of course I get to hang out and my player's injured, not playing zone, which is nice right now in a way. So Tyler, let's start with you, man. Like McGuire modern prices after chasing all those prisms and whatnot, where did Pristine stack up as compared to like other Topps and Panini products?
Well, it was pretty interesting with how close the Topps Chrome Platinum Anniversary came out to this, because I was pretty excited about that, but then this came out and he was in a Cardinals uniform,
right?
So it was like really interesting that these two sets were going on at the same time, and more people definitely collect him in the A's uniform, so which I think is kind of keeping them towards the Chrome Anniversary rather than Pristine.
Right.
Because he has like I think an auto that's that popular demand, like horizontal card. Then there's also the patch version.
Yep.
He's in those, which those are going for a little bit. But I don't know. I think if Chrome Anniversary didn't come out at the same time, I think this would have a little bit more hype to it for him.
Right. Gotcha. And Ryan, for you, I mean, I know you know Freeman, we've talked about him, and even I still get sad and upset thinking about the whole thing. But because he's in a Braves uniform and looking at all the other guys, Matt Olson, who's not, were you seeing the prices kind of in line with where everything else is going, a little bit higher, a little bit lower? Like,
yeah, I mean, he's still playing really good baseball.
Yeah,
just I'm
assuming not an all-star somehow.
Yeah, I know, for real.
Ridiculous.
But I mean, Matt Olson's made it pretty easy to not miss him too. He's played some pretty good baseball too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of gone like I would expect with his prices. It's stayed pretty consistent. You know, when a new product comes out, the lower end the lower number parallels are going to get thrown out there with a high, buy it now price, and you just kind of flip a coin, throw a number out there, and see if a seller will buy it. But I didn't want to commit really big to a low numbered card because I felt like eventually they'll come back around. We see it with products. You get that hype, but I think with this product, if people who are smart and see that the production is as low as it is, which a serial number card's the number that's going to be,
right.
But I still think there's room for some of his stuff to move in a more reasonable price range. But like Ronald Acuna or Chipper Jones, Aaron stuff, I mean, it's just, they're still high. I mean, they're higher than what I want to pay.
Yeah, there's way more than 50 people that want a gold.
Yeah, good point.
So that was when I decided, okay, so how do I want to approach this? It's a big checklist. It's a world championship team. I've got the National League Championship MVP in the set. I've got the World Series, championship MVP in the set. So there's a little bit more diversity here. I can kind of go after a broader scope. So if I want a lower number parallel, I can go for a guy who probably isn't getting chased as hard as everybody else. So
it's nice to have options for sure.
Yeah. So I figured let's chase a Braves rainbow versus one player.
Well, I think we need to make sure we show all the cards that are possible as far as the parallels and stuff go. Here's a Wander red. I'm guessing this is the encased, but this does not show off the shine at all. We're going to show that a lot better. And what's funny is come to think of it, can you believe that when we looked at these encased, we didn't think anything of it, right? Like that looks very boring compared to what the encased looked like.
Yeah.
But I just think the fact that it was so different got me excited. Because in my mind, I'm like, they've got to be different somehow. They're not just going to do a red encased and a red regular and make them look exactly the same. There's going to be.
They could.
I mean, I was holding out hope here, guys. Come on now. Which honestly, though, if it's better than that picture. So here's all the parallels for everybody to see. You've got all your base down here. And the only way to get these base parallels was within the mega pack, the 6 mega packs. There was that paper band, and inside that paper band that was around the other mini pack, there were 2 separate cards, like 2 cards hanging out there. And you could get them in one of those potentially. So that's where you get all these right here. And then, of course, you got all your encased refractors. And if you look real carefully, you'll notice that there's only a superfractor on this side. There's a black 101 on this side, and then red. But then this is, as we're going to talk about, probably our favorite card of the entire production. I mean, I would love to see one of these, not going to lie. I'm sure it would look sick. But this encased is where it's at. And then, of course, if your player is in the autograph set, I don't believe there's encased pink autographs, is there?
No. Most of those parallels are gold, orange, and red. So those 50, 25, 5
from this.
And then a superfractor, yeah.
And this is what the jersey autos look. And are there patches in there as well?
Yeah, the low numbered stuff, I think maybe in that 25 to 5 or 10. Scroll down a little bit more, I think.
And here's the pristine autographs. Here's what you got. You've got the base that's unnumbered, the 99, the gold out of 50, the orange, and then the 101. So, and then you've all these other ones. So anyway, we've got all those different parallels we're chasing. Now it comes down to just like all of us with our rainbow chasing, like we talked about, like, okay, where am I going to be at? You start making up your numbers in your head, right? Like what am I comfortable, paying for? And we all have different numbers because we're all chasing different guys. But I was still shocked in a way at the prices, like out of the gate, because I think the sellers too thought it was so new and cool that people might pay these crazy amounts. And we're kind of getting into a time now, and I think we can all agree that the buying is slowing down, like on this type of stuff a little bit. I'm seeing it in hockey, especially, price boxes are coming out and the prices are drastically coming down because the prices are too high and people aren't paying that anymore. So I don't know. What have you noticed, Tyler, as far as this goes?
So Nate from Grand Slam Collectibles, he did a couple like national recaps on their Facebook page. And one of the interesting things that he really pointed out was the card market is still exploding, but it's the key cards that people want.
Right.
The example that he used is really funny. He was like, not one time did a wealthy person come up to me at the National and ask for a blue optic scope laser Herbert or whatever. They want like the gold Herbert. They don't want that, retail only exclusive parallel or something like that. So
good thinking.
Yeah.
So people are still like, the hobby is still just incredibly just crazy,
frothing at the mouth, but now it's more focused, right? It's more focused for the big
it's
cards.
not people running out to Walmart and buying all the blasters and everything.
And that's what drove up all the different parallels and stuff for sure. Not the big time buyers for sure. Ryan, are you seeing the same too?
Yeah, I am. And especially if it's an auction, they're starting to tilt downward the prices, the final auction prices are. Right. You can, especially for things like 50 and up in the print run, like golds, which honestly, and I go look through my binder, I'm like, I must really like gold refractors because it is predominantly gold refractors. I feel like they're serial numbered low enough to where they're affordable and they just look good. Right. But you can buy gold pretty reasonable for any of the Braves players, even Acuna. Nice. So yeah, I think that's really like what Tyler is saying. Where the real money's going is the high end stuff, like what's going to be there in this hobby long term. Right. Some of these things are going to just be, I don't want to say thrown in a dollar box, so to speak, but a lot of these cards that people paid probably 10 times over what they should have paid for them, they're going to be in those $5-10 boxes down the road.
Well, it makes this, us being the rainbow chasers, it actually, in essence, for most of us at least, maybe not McGuire because he's got so many people after him and whatnot, but it makes it a little more of a reasonable, task, and also easier to wait on stuff. I mean, I got to be honest, like with some of the select stuff, I'll see, the stuff out of 50 or higher, like, oh, that's going to show up eventually for $1 down the road. You know what I mean? It's just which is kind of sad in essence, if you're breaking $100-something box and you're only red, as a glass now, and you want to get your money back, it's not going to happen, So, but when it comes to Pristine, I'm seeing, within 2 weeks, I was able to get a couple cards for dirt cheap as compared to the week before. Huge drastic drop off. And I think what happens is you have all these people join breaks and they buy team spots and they get the glass now, right? They're after the Rays, right? So of course they're paying big bucks for the Rays. They get Wander. Well, they don't need Tyler Glasnow cards, so boom, off they go. Yeah. And for me, that's made it easier. And then for the Braves, obviously, less people are probably selling. And then obviously for the Cardinals, they're after Arenado and Goldschmidt and all those guys. Right. Maybe they don't want to keep, McGuire because they're modern collectors. But I saw a drastic drop off, and I still am. So I think now that we're going to get into our last bit here, and we actually show the cards, I think price wise, we're going to see a little bit more decline on these Pristine, but I think I don't say this often. I feel like my money is being well spent on these cards because, if we talk about the design of these cards, even if you're talking about just the base card, like just look at the base card, it is a really, really cool looking card. Yeah. And I'm really happy that Topps came up with something fresh and something new and something that I think collectors can get away from the monotony of the same old, something that's a little bit different with the packaging and the look and whatnot. So, I have on here to talk about our expectations versus reality. Tyler was the first of us to get a card in. And Tyler, what card was that came in?
You want me to show it?
Yep.
That was the encased blue refractor, which
it's actually showing off decently on camera.
Yeah, it is. But when it was on the way, I was expected to be blinded once it came in. And when it came in, I looked at it and I was like really trying to find the right angle where it was just gonna explode.
Yeah.
And I couldn't.
Now, when that came in too, I think I have to like train. We have to train our brains, and nowadays, because the negativity is just the way to go for most people nowadays. For some reason, I remember saying to you, I'm like, well, I've seen these things on camera in breaks. They didn't look that bad. But I also said, if you remember, that somehow the blue is taking away from the shine. And I was just, pulling it out of my rear end. I was like, maybe this is true, hoping like, please
you
be
wouldn't
true.
do that.
But in essence, it ended up being true, because you got that. And then Ryan's cards came in a couple days before mine from the same break we had. Ryan, what was the first card when you were looking through all your loot? What was the first card that was like, oh man, this is pretty sick?
Yeah, that first break. Well, the first card I wanted to look at was the auto that I got. And when I opened the package, I was like, where's the auto?
You talking about the Solaire?
No.
Yeah. And so I messaged the guy and he was like, hey, yeah, man, we noticed that. Did you not see your message? He had messaged me that they forgot to ship it.
Oh,
and I get so many messages like you've been sent an offer that it just got buried in all my eBay messages. So I was like, sorry, man, I'm a complete idiot. So yeah, that was the first card that I was interested in seeing come in because one, it's different from, the encased refractors. It's a different looking card.
Right.
So it's a pretty clean looking card it's a ton of white. I would love to see this as a gold parallel.
Oh man, that would be nice.
Because they are gold autos to 50 in this. So, but I'll try to see if I can change my background to. I'll try to show
so you can show it off.
Yeah.
Well, and I do want to mention before there you go. Before I take this off the screen, all the autographs are on card, and that is so key for all of us because growing up as a '90s collector, that's all you got. And I tell you, with some of our players, McGuire, Glasnow, they don't have itty bitty signatures. You know what I mean? Like Tyler's got this big long loop.
Yeah, Glasnow is huge.
And so like making him put it on a sticker is just unless it's super low numbered, I usually just pass it up. So,
so let's see if we can get this to come in focus here. So I don't know how well it'll focus.
There you go.
So it's kind of hard to pick it up with the angle of this room.
Right. What do you think about the design though overall? Like, I mean, is there anything else that looks exactly like that out there that Topps makes right now?
There you can kind of see that kind of shines there in the background a little bit. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's something I've seen that looks like this. I mean, this is a ton of white background. That's a lot of white in the background of that card.
That was the idea of the whole set, though. Is like the base cards even have just a lot of white on them.
I don't, which the breaker kept pointing this out, and it kind of throws you off, but that pure power is out of focus.
Right. Yeah. On purpose.
Intentionally. But yeah, I mean, it's just super clean. That's what I like about it. And I wish he was in a Braves uniform in this card, but
next year.
But this was a card that they had already, these had already went to print and they were behind. They'd already the design was done. So, but that was pretty sweet because I wanted to bid on a player that had an auto and I could kind of maybe, pick up some refractors potentially too. Because, in a case, you're not even guaranteed a whole base set in a case.
No.
So
not even close.
We were pretty fortunate for what we hit in a 4-case break.
Oh, dude. I can't even believe it. Because the other one that you were nice enough to buy me a spot in was just a dud, complete dud on Glasnow.
Yeah. But this came out of the first case that we got in. And then and I also picked up I got a blue as well. So see, this is kind of
a picture of that for you to show.
Yeah, I don't think mine's gonna show too well.
Real quick, I just want to show everybody like it's always good to see like the base of where everything starts, and let's just hope that my camera will do its job. But this is what the base card looks like. See how blurry it is? It's out of focus on purpose. But no, so it's there's nothing too crazy about it, but like the dots and whatnot. I mean, it's clean.
It's a nice base card,
and that it's a little bit of extra light there. But so going off that, here's Ryan's blue, and Tyler's blue looks like this too, but Ryan had to get just the right angle to get that shine like that. And that really, that looks so nice.
Yeah, really, these are much better in person. It's really hard to capture these cards. I mean, probably one of the harder cards, like especially the darker color ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you said the oranges kind of don't really follow suit with that, but
Right.
it's really hard to capture some of these to pick that up on camera.
And it just depends. I think we can all agree that besides the pink, which we'll end with that being that it's the nicest one, I would say that the base, quote unquote, base encased pulsars are probably the nicest looking cards out of the whole deal. And there's an example. I think we all three have one, right?
Yeah.
Here's Ryan's picture of the Freddie, and then Tyler, you can show us your McGuire. So just like seeing how much extra silver shine is going on here, I came up with this idea. I think this is the design. They basically made this of every player that's encased and then put color, like a layer of color in a way on top of that design.
Yeah.
So if you see if it'll go, nope. Don't show that yet. Yeah, this one right here. Look, so you have this blue. It looks like that is the start, and then they slap the blue color on top of it, which in essence kind of takes away from all this extra shine. I mean,
yeah, I could see that.
I don't know, Tyler, if you're getting that vibe too, but if like you have the blue in your hand, you have the white in your hand, it looks like the white, the regular pulsar was the start of all of them. Kind of put the color on top. Now you lose like all this shine that's kind of within, here. It just seems like the blue is just taken away a bit.
Yeah, like it's got to work through the color.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you get that feeling at all, Tyler? Do you feel like off?
That's a lot of thinking for me.
I need the Simpsons thing with the monkey doing the thing.
But it's interesting.
I'm just a collector, not a designer.
If Pacific ever comes back, you are not going to be on the design team, my friend. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
Well,
later.
I may be jumping off track a little bit, but like with just the regular refractors, like the base refractor looks okay.
It's not that great.
It's a refractor, but the colored refractors, I didn't even think they were refractors.
Yeah.
They just
look like a color parallel.
Go ahead, Tyler. Let's see.
This is the only, besides the base refractor, this is the only colored I have right now. But yeah, the purple, and you can like hardly. I mean it's not even the camera that's barely showing. It's barely shows it in person.
Yeah, it's more like a reflection.
Well, and you know what it reminded me of, Tyler? I noticed this too. When I first started collecting glass, now remember we went after the Ben Baller rainbow together.
Mm-hmm.
Even those they shine, but they don't shine like Bowman's best or finest refractors do. I mean, it just the Topps Chrome even they're subtle. I mean, and if you even look at
make this work or not.
That looks a little better.
Yeah, but I mean, still, you have to really work hard. There's no shine unless light is hitting it right on that exact spot.
Yeah, and I was so fortunate in that last break I got in to get 2 of these in the break.
Nice. Giveaway, 200 subscriber giveaway, baby.
Yeah, and this one was 89 of 99. I was like, oh man, I needed that 99 of 99.
Say it, Tyler.
I mean, that 89 is the eBay one.
That's so stupid. So, we definitely, just our opinion, obviously, having colored cards in a rainbow, having them all together in a binder at one point will look really cool. That always does. But the base refractors for sure have left a little bit to be desired. You might as well have just like not even done a refractor and just made them red, purple, whatever. Like it really doesn't add much to them other than the word. It's like putting a Nike swoosh, but the Nike swoosh is like only visible through a microscope.
Do either of you have the gold?
No,
I have it on the way, but I'm curious at how that's going to look.
Like it doesn't even say refractor on the back of these, does it? On the non-pristine ones?
Yes, it does. Like, it should.
Oh, that's weird. It says refractor on the base, but on the purple it doesn't.
Yeah, here's the base refractor, and I mean it shines a bit. I mean, but just like the one that Ryan was showing, it just doesn't like right in there. It looks really cool. Right through the top there, like the different color. Look at all that. That is pretty cool. But I mean, I'm having to really do something specific. Yeah. It would be really nice if that's what you saw right out of the gate. So, as far as we shouldn't be starting with, we started with the positives, right? Obviously really excited for the packaging and how unique it is, but I think all three of us agree that the refractors, especially, it would be nice if they do it again next year to really make those pop, like really give them some of that Bowman's Best shine. Because those, like that gloss they put on the Bowman's Best, man, the gold refractors out of that set are amazing, man. Because seeing that one Yelich I got, I mean, it's not like it's like overly shiny, but that glossiness that they add to the front just makes it that much better.
Yeah. Did you see that the video, the Tim Anderson that I shared in that video I made? That thing is gorgeous.
Absolutely.
That gold, it's just the Bowman's Best is a beautiful product too. But
even look at like Gypsy Queen, those gold refractors they do out of there, Ryan. You've talked about those, and and you've seen them too, Tyler. Those gold refractors are so pretty. Like, why not do that kind of shine?
Right.
So. Let me go to you first, Tyler. Like, besides these refractors, before we get into the rest of the encased,
you want to see one real quick?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I can get it to. Oh, I'm still in incognito mode. My bad.
Come on, production value down the drain. We're gonna lose viewers. I'm gonna actually throw a question to the viewers. We have 5 live viewers right now. My question for everybody watching is, can you just give us like a highlight or a low light from Pristine this year? Are you digging it? Are you not digging it? Have you grabbed any cards? That kind of stuff. It's always good to interact. Thanks for showing that one, dude.
Yeah, man.
Like, it's good. It's good to interact with people and hear their thoughts too, because we're just 3, rando. As soon as I said that, one viewer left.
Idiots.
That's the question.
I'm out. That's too much pressure.
Well, one thing with this too, like if you go back and you look at the original from 2002, it was MSRP per pack was $40. So the next year it dropped down to like $15-$20 per pack.
I like that. Good. Well, hopefully we're convincing you or not convincing you.
So now what is it now? Is it around $400 a box?
Is it really that much?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jeez,
I didn't know.
Well, what did it come? And it may be back down, but it was at one point it was 400.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was like a little. I thought it was like 250.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe 350 a box or something like that.
Well, because obviously with Julio having a chase card in there.
I know my uncle bought a box. He could have paid $400. He'll buy anything.
Yeah, it's around $450 is what you're looking at for a box of this stuff.
Okay,
yeah.
so it is up. It's up now. So that's 600 or 400 to 450. That's $65 to $70 a pack, roughly ish. 400 would be $66, something like that.
Yeah.
So you're talking, this is $20 to $25 over what the original went for.
Which, I mean, that makes sense 20 years later.
Yeah,
right?
But you look at those original numbers, like a serial number, like an uncommon rookie was serial number to 2000. It was that gold refractor that Tyler showed number to 70 that was deckled. The uncirculated were the 149. Those were the tough ones. And by the time they got to 2005, they went to this mega box deal where you slid the box open and the uncirculated encase was kind of sitting in the box, and then you got the packs. So you kind of come full circle to where we're at now. You've got a much lower print run. You've got a much lower parallel numbers, and maybe the Pristine are encased for a reason and the other refractors aren't as shiny for a reason. Maybe
really make them stand out.
Yeah, maybe it makes them stand out a little more, because I got to thinking about that. I was like, well, if it kind of wouldn't maybe devalue, but why would you want to encase one and not the other if they look just as good?
Yeah.
So,
well, I will throw this in here. Alan's not here, but I did ask him. We were chatting last time he was on, and the set had just come out. I said, if Bonds was in here, what would you do? And he said, I'd be after him. He loves that nostalgic side of things too. So it makes me wonder how much of the nostalgia is driving these prices, keeping people after him. Guys our age that are finding those legends.
Yeah,
I mean, that's got to be
guys that they got when it was 02, 03, 04.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure.
Well, and guys that were collecting in the early 2000s. I mean, this is a product that, from the sake of nostalgia, is going to pique some interest, and if you've got their guys in it, most definitely, it's a big checklist of 300 players, but it's a good checklist.
Yeah, it's very well rounded, and I want to just say props to Topps for not putting like a 200 card checklist with 150 rookies. Like hockey is doing that sometimes, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Like rookies are cool, but getting the legends in there and getting more of the veterans in there, that's what we want. Like I know rookies are a thing, but nobody wants Joe Schmo who has not played one game other than like his family, you know, or a guy like me who collects, you know, who collected burros for a bit. Like there's just not a market for those guys. This is the type of product that's going to have success, where you have Willie Mays and Babe Ruth and Ted Williams, and then you have McGuire, you have Griff. Was Griffey in this? Did they put him in there?
I don't think he was.
Really?
I was thinking, I haven't seen him, but
A-Rod's in it, right?
And as a Yankee.
Yeah.
So
Christy Mathewson was in it.
Right. I mean, they got like such a wide range of legends, 90s players, modern players, and a little bit of rookies. They didn't just put a bunch of them in there. They put Wander and they put some other, you know, Shane Baz. Like they put just a select crop in there. And I think, just spitballing here, that is the direction of some of these releases that they need to go. Like use Bowman's Best and Bowman and Flagship to do all your rookie stuff and get more of these other players that guys our age that are able to spend money now are going to go after. But
well, that's what you saw. No, that's what you saw with a lot of products for a long time was the push, especially when it was like everybody was after autographs, right? We had the whole game used era. Then it went to somebody wore a napkin, and now we got into every 2 autographs per box, right?
It's just a piece of tissue paper.
So
I had to say it.
But these original releases from Pristine were game worn material, right? So what does this product have? It has one type of card that has game material or has material in it, but it's an autograph. So yeah, it's just not a throwaway piece of tissue paper. But they focused on but you've got Jeter, you've got McGuire, you've got a lot of good autos in this. I saw the dual auto of Rivera and Jeter pulled out of this. Like it was on card. The only non-on card is Brandon Marsh and Julio Rodriguez. So this is one of Julio's first autos. Yeah. And
it's a redemption. It's definitely short printed big time. There's not many out there.
It's a sticker for sure? Or?
No, it's not a sticker. He'll sign them. I mean,
no, they're on card because I saw a Topps digital bunt card.
Oh, you're talking about
these are redemption. Yeah.
Redemptions. Oh,
okay. But so it'll be on card. They have like a digital mock-up of what it looks like when it's going to be sent out.
Wander autos. Yeah, I just looked at the Wander autos, 350 to 375.
Which is pretty good with how clean this design is. You know what I mean? Like,
so don't buy a box, just go buy one.
Right.
Yeah, if that's what you really want.
Well, and the last thing that I want to bring up from what he's saying, Tyler, is like, think back to the 90s. Did we buy boxes hoping for game use stuff in the 90s? Like you and I broke some Pacific boxes and some other stuff. Like we're just hoping to see a cool parallel or two.
Yeah.
And to focus a product on just a really cool looking parallel with the encased, I'm all for that.
Right.
We want more of that. We want less of the tissue paper and like stop doing all that.
Yes, same like the platinum anniversary. It's all the parallels that are that people are wanting.
Yeah, and they look good too because they're the pictures. A lot of people aren't liking the pictures.
Yeah,
but I think a lot of people are liking just the different variety and parallels. And so I think. Yeah, more of that, keep giving us that. And I know I have to bring hockey in somehow here, right? That's what I do. But listening to the head designer for Upper Deck, Billy Celio, on the last episode he was on with Center Ice Cardcast, he said, we at Upper Deck really want to give more value to just a jersey card. So we're going to pull back on how many we put in because people are he's like, I find them in dollar boxes. I go to a card show, tons of our products, just all the jerseys of players, even decent players, are in dollar boxes, and this product definitely went away from that, and I'm really happy that they did. Like we can't get that lost on people. Like if you're looking for a fun break, if you like boxes and you don't want just tissue paper all over, then this is it right here.
Well, the hype of the product, I mean, we see it's supply and demand with a lot of things, and when you're guaranteed one game used relic or one relic or whatever in a product, people wanted them, so they packaged more of it out, and now it's like, oh, I'm done with that. So we'd be a little nervous of serial numbered, low numbered parallels because you a card numbered to 50 in 1998 is not the same as a card numbered to 50 in 2022.
No.
Right.
Because now maybe it is for that player and that set, of course. Right. But we understand there was less product. There was a lot less of those inserts put in. So we get the value of those cards when we find them. Whereas with this, it's not necessarily that we're looking for the value in those cards as much as we just want a really cool looking set of our player. And we're not so worried. The pricing is important to us because we wanted to get it at a value, and it just depends on who we collect where that number is going to be. So we kind of have to figure out what products we're going to chase. It's like with Platinum Anniversary, I thought it was a gorgeous set, and I've got one card, and it's a beautiful card. But I had to decide like Pristine or or that, and like I said, like I'd much rather have an action shot of because Freeman's in the set twice. He's a little fuzzy, but
no, but that's you're exactly right.
So I think at some point, we're going to see, there's a Shane Baz to 50 in a dollar box because there's so many Shane Bazes to 50 out there at some point.
Not these though. You will not see an increase
out
of 50 in a dollar box. These will not.
And I think that production run is so key to that. That's really what the key factor of this.
Can the Pirates fan in me say that I hope his Superfractor is in the dollar box someday because that means the Pirates didn't blow it on the trade.
Shane Baz, Tyler Glasnow. Anyways, you got O'Neal Cruz to look forward to. He's a bright young star and hitting
200.
You know what though? Like
he's young.
Sometimes he's got no protection in that lineup. You know what I mean? He's not going to, there's not going to be a Julio Rodriguez that comes out every year. And I'm so happy that I get to say that, even though he's hurt right now. Yes. Screw the Astros. All right. Anybody got a trash can to bang on? Tyler, is there a trash can around there? Yeah.
I've got.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. There it is. Yeah. Thank you. Sure. All right. So let's get to the highlights for us. Favorite card in the set. And then we'll show a pretty special one. But are we all in agreement with the best looking card in this entire run?
Potentially, yeah.
I mean, yeah, for me it is.
Yeah, I mean, once I see it in person, I would probably say yes.
So I'm going to show, the out of 15, the pink.
I'm looking at it right here at this angle.
Hey, we need to save all this for episode 69.
that picture's horrible compared to what I'm looking at.
Well, hold on, I'll show the other one. So this is you notice like you can see the shine almost throughout the entire card, and we will say whatever, the cases are a bit scratched up. That's to be expected. We don't know how they were packaged up with the machine and how the machine grabbed the cases. I'm surprised they're not worse, to be honest. But this is probably the better picture of it at this angle, and I will say. And Tyler's going to hate me for this, but I have been very tempted to yank all of the encased out of these original cases because how scratched up they are. Because I want to see the card without any plastic in front of it to get the full shine on it. So, Tyler, are you buying that, or are you also thinking, no, I'll never do it?
I will never do it.
I don't know. Let's see if I can do it, Matt. I don't know if I can. I'll try.
If it gets focused in, there it is.
It's really hard to do two things at once.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get that pink to show.
It's really hard to hold my camera phone.
Yeah.
How many viewers did we just lose?
One. All right. And so I think for me, though, just how all these look, that the pinks definitely look the best. Now, Tyler, do you have a different one you're ready to show off there?
Yeah, this is just my favorite one that I have in hand.
Okay.
So it's just the gold taste, which it looks incredible.
Yeah.
That's
the gold
that's
is beautiful.
Everything I could want it to be.
No, that picture of McGuire, I was so happy when I saw. I sent you a screenshot of the base card, and I was so stoked.
I love how his jersey is just so red, just stands out.
And I will second what Tyler's saying. My favorite. This is so tough. these are the 6 that I have encased. And honestly, I think this is the best looking card right here. Either of these, I think the auto, obviously, I love how they have a 2021 picture of him pre-injury with the flow. They all look great, but I'm a huge fan of the 99 autograph. I think that is the best looking for me, as far as just like grab it, you hold it in your hand and you look at it. That's the best looking one. Again, because the gold, and this is a scan, so this is a very static image, but even the scanner can pick up shine depending on how it is, and you can see how the same foil is supposed to be in this orange and this gold, and it's just, it's covered up by the color. So for me, the picture, by the way, I love how crisp and clear all the pictures are. You got to give Topps credit for that. This is very Panini Dominion-y, if that's a phrase I can use. If any of you know Panini Dominion hockey, they really sharpened up the images and darkened it. Look, we lost another viewer when I said Dominion. That was going to happen. Very similar. So the editing on the photo was very good too. And so, look at this refractor. You can see it doesn't really even do much.
Yeah.
So now, Tyler, you are fortunate enough to have a certain card in hand that you were quite, if you want to tell us the backstory on it too, like, anytime a card like this pops up, and then with the arrival of it coming, like your expectations of it, and then you can show it.
Yeah. Well, there's not too much of a backstory. I was out golfing with a buddy for, his fiance was surprising him with a birthday party, and I was in charge of distracting him. And we had just got back to his house. Everybody was surprised, blah, 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 whatever. I was looking on eBay waiting for some food, and this card came up, and I just impulse sent an offer and just kind of like set my phone down. And then I came back. Well, I think I messaged you guys. I was
we never responded.
Yeah, you guys never responded. And then I was like, well, I want it with my offer. Right. And it was kind of like, if I would have sat there for, an hour and thought about it, and especially maybe if I would have even looked at one of these, like, that somebody had in a video or whatever,
right,
I might have not sent the offer that I did. But it is the black encased auto, which there it actually looks a little better.
Yeah.
Well, you can see there's some subtle shine over, like down at the bottom there too.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
It's through the whole card on this one. Yeah.
Is that like that on all the rest? Does that shine through the entire card like that on everybody else?
Yeah, I can actually kind of see it a little bit, but it's not near as evident.
So that is.
I think it's different. Yeah. Can you show the front again? Because I'm looking at the gold. I'm looking at the gold. There is no shine. Like, look how it goes all the way through down by the auto there. That is not present on this gold. Not even close that I'm looking at. Nope.
But it's still still definitely underwhelming compared to the gold.
But look at the gold. Look at the gold. Look at where his legs are. Let's see if you get some shine down there. There's no kind of there. No, look at, there's like no real pulsar down by his legs, and on that black, it goes all the way through the entire card.
I guess I didn't notice that.
The pattern's there, it's just not shining like it is on that black.
I did want to point out that the eBay authentication was way shinier.
Well, and that's
this
what
was
we wanted.
This was the first card that I ever had go through that, and I am not a fan.
Let's not go there.
That should have taken too long.
Yeah.
It didn't take too much longer, but it was still annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I know the card's real.
Especially because it's from a brand new product. You're not going to fake that.
Yeah.
But so one thing that this picture doesn't pull up is that there is actually this pulsar shine goes through the entire white part of the card, which is not evident on any of the other parallels. So at least that, I know it's subtle. It should be a lot brighter, like the back on that sticker. But it's cool that it's different. I did not know that.
I bet Will could have got a better picture of it than I did, but I tried all kinds of different angles for that to try to get like just a good shine, and I just couldn't.
I do want to make sure we show one of the examples of the inserts here too. Just beautiful design, like the background, having the flag. I'd like to see them do stuff like this. It would have been cool if could you get these out of 50? Was there a gold out of this too?
Yeah, there's a gold
Okay.
and there's a red to 5, I think. Can't remember if there's
cool.
an orange. I've yet to buy the Acuna. I should have, but they're going to be pretty. Once they flood the market, they'll be super cheap because they were going for like 10, $15 when they first came out. But such a cool shot of him after he slid and kind of popping up. But it's about let's see. I think I looked at the sets like. Let's see. There's 20 in that set. So they only did they only did 3 insert sets, fresh faces, which is 15 rookies or at least guys when they're 3 years in the league, the borders, and then pure power, which is, the Soler card.
Oh, the Soler, yeah.
McGuire's in that. I haven't
no interest.
Okay. A little interest, just not quite at the price where it's at. Yeah.
Well, you can only get so many. You have to kind of limit yourself what you're going to go for. But
you got to think the numbers on those aren't going to be real high. I mean, right. I was in 2 breaks with Freeman, 7 total cases, and I have 6 or 7 of those. So it's only like 1 per case, roughly.
Right. Well, I mean, it's good to know how little was made in essence, because it should add a little bit of a premium to this product. And again, for something new, I'm glad that they're not doing like a flagship type release where you've got just bajillions of cards out there. Well, let's wrap this up, being that this is our first product review, and I plan on doing some for hockey too and whatnot. But being that this is our first product review, let's out of 10. Start with you, Tyler. Give me an overall grade on this release. Just looking at it from a collector's perspective, player collector, set collector, rookie collector. Where are you at on this out of 10?
I'm probably, a 7.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe once I get a couple more in, especially if I'm able to get a pink, maybe that'll bump me up to an 8. Definitely a little bit bummed about the darker colors.
Okay, so a low light for you would be the darker colors. Would like to see them be better. What's a highlight of this set for you? What is one of your favorite things about it?
Well,
I love doing these questions to him because he never is ready for it.
No, I do really like that pulsar refractor, just because Topps doesn't really do that. Like a refractor is just a refractor for Topps anymore. So it's really nice to see a different kind of refractor. That's not an X-fractor.
Right, exactly. They brought in that technology, the same foil technology that Select uses for their first off the line pulsar parallels, the blues and the orange, which we all really like.
And there's that Upper Deck product that you have some of.
Of course, I'm forgetting it.
With the OPG Platinum.
Oh yeah, the seismic golds. Thank you.
Yeah,
absolutely. And those though, like just because you brought them up, I have to show a picture because that's what I think thought we were going to see.
Yeah,
the whole card.
Yeah, that's. I think that's why my expectations were so high.
So here's here's a perfect picture example. This is what we wanted them to look like for everybody. Thank you for bringing that up, Tyler. We wanted that.
Yeah.
And the whole card to look like that. And I know this is a border and you don't have colors. So like you can see though, where the gold comes in, you can still see the shine all the way through where the gold's at. And obviously it takes away from it though. So I think it's got to be tough to kind of get that shine throughout those darker colors. So yeah, very good. Ryan, what about you? Give me an overall grade and then a highlight and a low light from this set.
Just looking at it, you could see the pulsar through the card, but it just gets washed out in the white so much. That black 1/1, it's definitely it shows up a lot better.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's just because of the black overlay or what, but it's there, but you've got to really look hard.
And it needs to stand out like this flurry here, that seismic gold. It really needs to pop a bit more.
Yeah. My overall on the product, I'm going to give half points.
Me too.
I'm going to go 8.5. 8.5. One, the refractors are beautiful. Even if it's not maybe what we thought our expectations were, and I think maybe we kind of set them a little bit high, just
No.
because we were excited, but they're
Yeah.
still gorgeous. And if you get them at the right angle, I mean, it's one of those things like if you put it in a case and you walk by it, you'll stop
Yeah.
and you'll go back
Yeah.
and look at them again.
Right.
Even the blues, they're just beautiful laid out. The just having a run of just the pristine of your team or something would be
Yeah.
really sick because they
Yeah.
really pop. And I mean those aren't numbered. Well, there's a limited print run. I can't remember what they think they're on. You remember the number they threw out on that, Matt? I don't want to speculate.
Just the base pristine, the
Yeah.
unnumbered refractors. Wasn't it like 199 or
Yeah,
250
I
or
was thinking
something in there?
250 or something like that.
Yeah. But those are the best looking, as I said in
Yeah.
my picture. It was the best looking.
Yeah. So I mean that was really the draw at first for this, but I think it gets an 8.5 because it's got this is a strong autograph product. And I'm talking not just like, yeah, there's some rookies in it, but you've got some really good names. You've got some variety in the autos. They're all on card. Ichiro's in the set, Jeter, Frank Thomas, Piazza. I mean, you got guys from the 90s. You've got Andrew Jones has got an autograph in this. Dale Murphy's got an autograph.
Nice.
I mean, it's a really good checklist if you're an autograph seeker. And the finish of these cards with the blue ink looks great. You can, the parallels are enough, but they're not too many in terms of the autos. So I just think that they did a really good job of thinking out how to lay this product out.
Mhm.
And you've got 3 insert sets. It's not an overwhelming. It's not a lot of filler.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
you kind of have the expectation when we were sitting there watching a break, like we knew the pattern of what was coming.
Mhm. Right.
And if I had a box of this stuff, if I would have pre-ordered a box of this, I think I would have been very happy after I opened it.
Same.
Because I knew I was going to get 2 autographs. I was going to
On card.
I was going to have 6 encased cards. So it was just. I think that it was one of those deals where my expectations were a little inflated because I was just excited to see the product. But after had a chance to kind of go back and look at what the old product was like and just to see all these nice autographs pulled of all these different players, and I really think like an 8.5. I think what would really jack this product up would be, like you said, if we had that pulsar all the way through and just take out the other refractors. I don't think we need them.
Yeah.
Or even a little deco edge like
yeah.
the O2.
Don't steal all my thoughts, Tyler. Come on, man. So 8.5. Tyler gave it a 7, but might change it once he sees a pink encased in hand. I was gonna, right when I threw that question out at you guys, 8.5 is where I was at too. Very strong checklist. The cards that look nice, look amazing. Like they're different from anything Topps has done lately. Having been into modern for the last 3 years, and Tyler has kind of given me a crash course of like what to look for, what's popular, what's not. Huge Panini fan. The Pulsars, remind me of that, and I've always loved the look of those. So, and I think obviously the design. I'm the design guy here. I think the design is superior to the point where even a base card looks really cool of a player that you want, and that right there can set a product apart from a lot of others. As soon as I say base card, I lost 2 viewers. Just want to point that out. You guys are missing out. But honestly, if you can have a product that has a base card that looks good, think about any set from the 90s, right? Pacific Revolution. You have a base card that looks amazing. These don't look that good, but they look good enough that, you want to keep a few in your binder of the guys that you like. Kids will like them, adults will like them. Like that right there, the design for me makes it an 8. And then the 0.5 comes from the encased. The lack of 9 comes from the ability, not doing the deckled edge. I was going to say that. So Tyler, thank you. Not doing like even one, just one, making the golds like this only, just to add an extra little, little extra spice to them. You know what I mean? And then also just the lack of shine on some of the cards. I would like to see the refractors even really shine. So I definitely have to go for an 8.5. I will say that if they do this before, how many more years do we have before Fanatics takes over?
2026.
So 4 more years.
Yeah.
25, something like that.
I think they
That's
got
20.
3 more years.
Yeah, I thought it was 25 or something.
Yeah,
But,
I think it is 25. Yeah.
okay. So let's say, knowing that they're not going to be able to, I mean, who knows if Fanatics is going to keep the Topps name or not. We don't need to go into that. But let's say this set goes away in 3 years. They have, this year plus 2 more or 3 more to really keep experimenting with it, because it is kind of an experimental product, right?
Mhm.
Look at all the breakers that were like, what is this, when they're opening it? Like, even, I don't know if anybody in here watches KG Sports Cards. He's a pretty popular one on YouTube. Hey guys, how's it going? Like, he, has the camera, he's got good lighting. Even when he opened one today on camera, he was like, not really sure why they wrapped it up. Like, he was just really confused with the idea of the packaging. But I think I like it. Tyler likes it. Ryan likes it.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. So
go back and watch videos of the 02, 03, 04, 05 stuff, even from 4 or 5 years ago. It's the same reaction.
Yeah.
People are like, whoa, is this another pack? And it's just, it's crazy. It's like, this is the same thing people were doing 3 weeks ago. And so you get, it seems gimmicky, but it's fun. That's kind of, isn't part of what we're supposed to be doing in this hobby, is having fun. And I get for breakers, it's about speed, but even some of them at some point, you could see they were having a good time with it a little bit. They figured out a pattern and how to do it, and they got to move pretty quick. But I can't think of any break that I saw where the breaker was like, this is just, I'm not a fan of this product. Like, every one of them were like, this is a super nice product. And your point was, Topps said, you know what, we got to change from just these shiny mirror looking refractors that we've done day in and day out to something a little bit different. Because I'm telling you, I told you guys off camera, I was really like, man, I'm just going to stick with Select, because the shine and the way it looks is just, it was superior at first. But once I started looking at the Pristine and kind of looking at them side by side, I was like, Topps up their game with this one. But we got, I'll take some etching too. Bring some etching back. Come on.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I would say overall, our thoughts, if we were to average our scores out, I think we'd give it like a 8.12 or something, right? Or 8.2. But I think an 8 overall between the three of us is probably pretty solid, give or take. Would any of us buy a box? Well, no. If we had endless money, yes.
I'd buy a case if I had endless money.
But it's a singles product for guys like us. Those of us that chase rainbows, it's a singles product. It's fun to watch it, broken online, although Tyler doesn't know anything about that. And there's plenty of chase cards for all players. Like, that's with the checklist being so big, almost anybody that collects nowadays can probably find somebody to go after, other than Black of Griffey, which will make that product even stronger next year if he's in it. So, any closing thoughts, Tyler? Put you on the spot.
I don't want to go to work tomorrow.
No,
I don't know. I mean, I'm happy with it. It's so far product of the year. I like it more than the platinum anniversary. I don't even know what else is coming out this year.
Well, there's been a lot of stuff delayed. Like Stadium Club still hasn't been announced yet.
I think they're doing they're bringing back Topps Strata this year, which
are they?
I'm pretty sure. I thought I saw that.
All right. Well, all that's left is Topps Fire with those ridiculous laser cut designs, and we've got 90s back at it, baby.
Wow.
Well, Strata, that'll be.
Yeah, Strata was like 14, 15 last time I saw that.
So I wonder if they're kind of going the route of like, hey, let's bring some of these back before we're not making cards anymore. People remember these from the 90s. Like,
they just got sheets of acetate laying around. It's like, we got to use this stuff.
Okay. Any closing thoughts on your end, Ryan?
I really like the product. I think what I really like about it is that I've got a lot of autographs in here that I want to go after. That's going to give a little bit more diversity to this set with Murphy in it. Tim Anderson's got a couple different autographs in it. The Slice of a Star relic autos, they're kind of cool, but if I go after one, I want a patch in it, even though it's probably not a game-worn patch. It just looks better. But the I can't remember the name of it. I think it's the one that Tyler's talking about, that's horizontal.
The Popular Demand.
The Popular Demand, it's pretty cool background. It looks 90s. I don't know if you've looked at those, but it kind of has that 90s feel to it.
Yeah, there's been a couple of the pink out of 15 that have sold of McGuire.
It just has a 90s look to it. It's got a real busy background.
Oh yeah, geez. We're gonna show Christian Yelich just because. Oh, that's not a great picture though. I love that guy. I did not know about these.
Yeah,
Those
and
look awesome.
Tim Anderson just sold for $20. So I mean, it's like
we should show a picture of this guy since he's pretty much destroying the league single-handedly with his bat. Yeah, here we go. Here's a Mr. Judge.
Yeah, that's just a sick card, and I don't even think they're all game memorabilia. I think that's
this is pretty unique being Aaron Judge. But yeah, that's great. What a design! And there's pinks of these too.
There are gold, orange, red, and supers.
Oh, geez, wow!
And then there's some duels. There's a pristine
Wait,
5. Yeah,
there's no pink?
Let's see. That's
So
the popular.
Pink out of 15.
It probably is. This checklist is probably not accurate.
And one thing that's kind of cool here, this is the Juan Soto, as they was called in the home run derby. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The superfractor stuff, like it's within these little gold rings here, and then within the that's cool, man. Like that, and it's in the little T on the Topps Pristine. Like,
yeah,
I'm digging. I'm wish that they thought Tyler Glasnow was in popular demand.
Yeah.
Apparently he's not.
That's a good looking auto. I like that one.
Well, yeah, I think closing thoughts from me too. It's a fun, new, unique set. I think it's got a lot of diversity design wise. It's up there with one of the coolest sets I've seen since I've been doing modern for 3 years. So I'm excited. If they decide to do it again next year, I expect them to take it a step further. I really hope they have watched people's reactions to this. They see that collectors are craving something new. We've been seeing all those museum and flagship and stadium club's amazing, by the way. But just the ones they've been doing for the last 10 years with all the different parallels, like they keep trying new stuff, keep experimenting. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're going to be done in 3 years anyway. Go for it, man. So I'm pleasantly surprised with this. I'm also hoping that the refractors shine better, but I think there's a lot more positives than negatives. Can we all agree on that?
Oh yeah,
okay.
Most definitely.
There you go. I don't want that to get lost, that we're sitting here dogging on it, because collectors, we all have very high expectations, and I think if Glasnow wasn't in this, I'd still find somebody to go after. Just because it's such a good looking set.
Yeah, I'd probably find a pirate or something and go after them
for sure.
This is still in my watch list, and other things aren't. So it's definitely it's going to stay. And this is a set that I would work on for the rest of the year. I mean, this is not something I could see as other things come out way, and I was like, okay, I'm going to stick with Pristine, or am I going to chase something else?
All right. Cool. Well, just want to plug in Ryan's YouTube channel again. Ryan, you just tell us about the most recent video you put up, and then kind of the plans for the next couple months here with the channel.
Yeah, put up a video yesterday, just kind of saying, "Hey, I'm back." Hopefully, it won't be another 5 months before I say, "Hey, I'm back again." But just kind of getting a little catch up on my collection. Did some organization, kind of moved some stuff around. Came across a pretty cool old relic.
Definitely got to check that out, everybody. Definitely got to check that out.
Kind of moved my collection into it, so got some stuff going on. We actually have my uncle's got around with some other guys in the area. We've organized a trade night a couple weeks on a Tuesday. So I think I'm going to get some footage from that and try to put together a little video of our it'll be like the first one we've had around here in years. So there's a lot more people in this area. I guess we all probably have a lot more people around us that collect that we don't know about.
Yeah.
And I live in a fairly rural area. The county I live in is just about 65,000 people. So it's a small place, but there's still a lot of collectors in this area, and we're just trying to reconnect. So kind of do some of those kind of things. I want to kind of display kind of how I've collected. There's a lot of other stuff that I collect that I haven't really shared, and kind of give some backstories of some of the players, and it's particularly and that are from this area. So.
Well, that's on. You guys can find that on Southern Card Collector on YouTube. Definitely check it out. His editing is very good. The video is Tyler. What did you say in that message?
The video quality is top notch.
It is as
Thank you,
nice as you
Tyler.
could possibly hope. Like seeing that, even when we were in the COVID times, we were all chilling at home. That definitely motivated me. I upgraded my phone, and when I started doing pictures and video with the new phone, I think we have similar years of phones. It makes me happy looking at the content with yours and mine because it looks so good. And then, Tyler, we are awaiting your first video. I would like to put this out there. I'm inviting you to let us host your very first video if you don't do a YouTube channel, because you recently upgraded your storage, which I think would be cool for people
I
to
did.
kind of see.
Yeah. So yeah, the plan is I want to do something. I don't know if it's just going to be posting in the Super Collectors group or maybe even doing a premiere video, but I want to
man.
go. I want to at least go over my new setup and shout out the guy that gave me the inspiration for it.
Definitely need to do that too. And just kind of an update on your collection would be great. Cause I mean, to think where we all started 3 years ago and to see, Tyler, especially where you're at now, you've stuck with the McGuire, the 90s route. And when I looked at your collection last summer, when I was there about a year ago,
Yeah.
I was just like shocked at what you had. Cause you kind of lose focus of what we all have. Cause we're just like, here's the new card. Here's
Right.
the new card. And then you see the scope of like, I'm like, this is all your McGuire's. He goes, no, that's 98.99. I'm like, geez. So, I mean, here I'm just throwing my motivation out there. I'm sure Ryan would love to see it too.
Yes.
I know it's not easy to do videos because you have to get set up and you have to look back at it and listen to yourself and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you've got an incredible collection, and it would be really cool to see, like maybe your best pickups of this year so far,
Yeah.
and then show the setup or whatever. But yeah, would enjoy seeing it.
Just send some videos our way. We'll just clip them for you. We'll put it
He'll do all the work for me.
Yeah, it's not like you got anything going
not
on
hard.
right now.
Hey, I do 100% of it on my phone, so it's.
Yep, I will be upgrading to an iPad Pro at some point because editing on my phone, my fingers get too tired of doing it all on
Yeah,
here.
it's
I need
tough.
a bigger screen to do it on. I don't have a MacBook or anything. So,
Well, as Tyler said, I'm old now, so it's making it difficult.
well, hey, guys.
Yeah, the big 4-0 on Tuesday, right?
That's right. It's coming up.
Yeah.
What card are you going to buy to celebrate that?
That's a good question.
Fabulous 40s.
Next video, next video, Tyler.
That would be a good one.
And Ryan, you need to do it. Motivate him with your Fab 40. That would get him going.
I need to pick me a player.
Yeah, right. Tyler Goss now. Okay, well, we're going to log off now. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this product review. Yeah, we really like the product. Check out 2022 Pristine. Lots of cool parallels, inserts to chase. The encased cards are the best thing in the product. And the color pink is definitely the best one of them all. And on that note, we'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good night, everybody.